Evening. It's Tuesday, March 10th, 6 PM, and I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Charter Commission. If we could please all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Right, I'd like to open it up to public comments at this time. And if you could stand at the podium, state your name and oh, hang on, Whitney, I don't think the microphone's on, Anthony.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Whitney Kahn. I'm a resident of Winthrop. I wanted to submit to you a proposal for some additional changes to the charter that you're working on a new draft for. In this, the proposals are the adoption of role-based noun use to replace some of the biased pronoun use that is found within the charter. So some of the reasoning is laid out on the document that was passed out to you, and I can go over it briefly. The Charter Commission's own mission statement explicitly lists diversity and inclusion as core values guiding the revision. The proposed revisions would ensure this goal is achieved through avoiding bias, assumption, or exclusion. The Commission identified updating and aligning all references to state law with current statutes as a key objective. The proposed revisions align the Charter's drafting standard with the standard already applied to all Maine state law. The Maine's legislative drafting manual has directed the use of gender-neutral language since 1987. The Maine Constitution was revised in 1988 to remove gender-biased terminology following a vote of Maine's citizens. And in 2019, LD 1457 was signed into law to retroactively remove gendered pronoun constructions from existing statutes. The Commission's own draft already applies gender-neutral role-based language to several of the offices, including the town clerk in Section 218, the tax assessor in Section 601, the planning board in Section 701, and the Board of Appeals in Section 703. The proposed revisions extend that standard consistently to all offices. In every case, the role-based neutral construction produces language that is shorter, cleaner, and more precisely anchored to the office rather than to the individual occupying it. This represents an improvement in drafting quality independent of any other consideration. So what you'll see here is each of the instances where the biased pronoun is used with a suggested rewrite underneath and a note under that.
People.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I can read an example of, so Section 201, the current draft text is each member shall be elected for a term of 3 years and until his/her successor is elected and qualified. The suggested rewrite would be each member shall be elected for a term of 3 years and until a successor is elected and qualified. The note on this is his/her successor replaced with a successor. Succession is a function of the seat, not the person holding it. That was it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kat. I'm a resident of Winthrop, and I just say ditto to what Whitney just said. So thank you.
Could I have you come back, please? I've got a couple of questions. Sorry. I should have intercepted you before. Other than the he, she, his or her, are there any others that stand out as major changes? Or is it just a replacement of he, she?
It was the he, she. I think there's some his, her, but I didn't see any instances where it was like fireman or anything like that. So that was what stood out.
That's all I had. Any other members of the commission have any questions?
I don't think it's a big deal. I mean, pardon us for overlooking it. Thank you for bringing it to our attention.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Yep.
Hey, Dick, excuse me.
Yes.
Hey, Dick, could you speak into the microphone, please? People online. can't-
I just asked if they were if they were residents of Winthrop, and they said they were. And I said, I don't see any problem with this.
Thank
Nick.
you.
Thanks for bringing it to our attention.
Motion on the floor to accept these changes?
Did Aaron, do we want to fill Aaron in, or are you aware of what we just talked about?
Michael Zato, Richard Garrett, all those in favor? Unanimous? Thank you, ladies. Appreciate
Very
it.
much.
You probably didn't think it was going to be this easy now, did you? On another resident note, Pat Ladd sent us a note with some of her thoughts that she had. I've reviewed all 8 items, and personally, I've read and reread section 202 especially, and I didn't see anything that was complicated, but I'd like to open it up to the commission for your comments and possible action. Richard?
I would like to have you read that aloud so the folks on the internet can see it.
I'd first like to say thank you to Pat Ladd for taking the time to read through it and
Yes.
to
I think
be very thoughtful.
we should read that, Gil, so
Yeah,
everybody
no,
knows.
I'll definitely read it.
Thank you.
And I think I've got the right page here. There's a couple pages. All right, so it starts out, she apologizes for not being able to make it to this meeting, but then she starts talking, section 203.1. I didn't realize that the utility district and watershed district were appointed positions, which if they are, that makes sense for them to be included in this section. Anybody on the commission have any comments about that?
I have no issue with it.
All right. Number 2, same section. Should we state that the town attorney, when appointed, must have, or their firm have, experience with municipal law? This seems obvious, but seems like it should be stated. Any members?
I agree
My-
with- I agree with her.
Yeah, my take on it is why would we hire an attorney that has no municipal experience and then have to reinvent the wheel the second they're hired? So,
I'm not so sure it would rise to the charter level.
No.
I do think
I think
No.
that the
makes sense to me.
town manager and the town council could be making those kind of decisions with the attorney. But, I have no problem with seeing something like that mentioned.
all right. Number 3, section 207 states all meetings should be open to the public. Should it state that meetings will be publicized in advance and where that would be? Perhaps a town calendar? And forgive me if one already exists. But
I think it already exists, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And we post the meetings in advance. So,
And it's main state law that you have to have
yeah.
anytime there's 3 or more.
And that can be found on the winthrop.gov site, correct?
So these meetings are posted online and within the time frame that makes them legal?
We host a calendar on the main.gov website, and all public meetings are posted there, and they are all noted that they are welcome and encouraged to attend by the public. It's a law, so clearly addressed there.
If not mistaken, if they sign up for the website and they enter their email address, they get automatic emails.
Yeah, they don't even need to go to the website. They'll get it right to their text alert or their actual email account that they've signed up with. Yep.
I had asked a while ago about having that little machine put out in front there like they do when we vote. They got it out there, vote here today, whatever. That when we
the
had that-
marquee?
Yeah, the
The marquee?
police department.
Like a marquee. Yeah.
Yeah. And I haven't seen it yet. I've asked for it, but I haven't seen it.
We had trouble with the big snowbanks to stick it out there. It was in the way of the sidewalks for the children getting to school for this particular meeting. We did have it out there until we got the big snowstorm. So we did the best we could. We posted it out there for a couple of days and we got the snow. And so we boosted it out on social media and on the website as well.
Well, I've been up and down the main street. I haven't seen it yet, Deb, but whatever.
How many days did we have it out there, Anthony?
Richard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? New, number 4, new section 222. She had an attorney read this and they felt that the first sentence is not clearly stated, should be wordsmithed. Again, comments from, I thought it was pretty self-explanatory.
I think it's fine the way it is.
All right. Andy? Okay. Number 5, section 505. Please define in this section what unencumbered means. I want to make sure that funds that were raised for a particular purpose not be borrowed for another purpose without a plan to replace said funds. Business world where I come from, you borrow from one department to the other as the needs arise and you replace it at some point. I don't know if you need a plan, but members, any comments?
This is a question for Matt Colpitz. Is he on?
No, he's not. Anthony?
Well, if you folks have specific questions, I'd be happy to answer.
So you do move money from dormant projects as the need arises, is that correct? On the town council?
That is true. So the council does have the authority to reappropriate funds within the general fund. Now, if we were to issue a bond for a specific purpose, you could not reappropriate those funds for some other purpose, but anything else within the general fund you could do.
Isn't there a dollar limit on it or something like that? I don't know.
There's not. So as Gil mentioned earlier, there were some dormant capital reserves, and in order to make good public use of those funds, they were reappropriated to other reserves where we can make great use of them. For instance, buying a new fire truck. But the term encumbered just means that those dollars have been earmarked for a specific purpose, and that's a finance department function. And so once something has been encumbered, then understood. So once something has been encumbered, then you don't use that for something else unless you go through the process of unencumbering it. So we don't typically encumber a lot of things. We have things within our capital reserves, and those must be spent on those specific needs. But monies that are just in the general fund, we use however the need fits. So it's like a lot of gobbledygook.
Unencumbered or encumbered, or just say it again because it sounded kind of funny.
So for instance,
No, just the word.
the word?
Encumbered,
Oh,
unencumbered.
And unencumbered funds would basically be the general fund
yes,
accounts,
yes,
to be for clarity.
right. And encumbered accounts would be your capital reserve.
They're marked, yeah.
Didn't we have a discussion about borrowing with this fella here sitting next to Aaron? About $150,000, I believe, at it's about $150,000. I think we need to revisit.
Richard?
Yeah, well,
All tangled up.
I got big feet. I think we need to revisit things like, if we're gonna spend $2 million for anything or $1 million, I think it should be voted on by the taxpayers. I don't think it's fair for the town council or anybody else to say, we're gonna go buy 15 new dump trucks and 20 fire trucks and 10 front end loaders. And my gut feeling is I think the taxpayer ought to be in on this. I don't think it should be voted and approved. If the council wants to vote on it and approve that they think they need it, that's fine. But I think it should be approved and voted on by the taxpayers of the town of Winthrop. That's why I'm here. They elected me, and that's why I'm sitting here tonight. Just my opinion.
We went out over that extensively, and I believe that we all agreed it was good just the way it was.
Also trying to schedule multiple votes within a year for a town that doesn't have a large percentage of population that actually does participate every single time. It's also extremely money heavy itself to try to do that.
I disagree. For a $2 million purchase, I disagree with you.
Andy, hold it. Richard, finish. Did you bring the microphone to you? Thank you.
Is Richard all set? Okay. I don't necessarily agree with Richard. It might cause much difficulty in the procedure of the town government, town council particularly. And secondly, looking out there tonight, and I see two town employees who should be here, and another person who has a special interest. And this is the town charter commission. We're going to set the course of the town for the next maybe 10 years. And there's no one else here. Okay. And town council meetings, unless we do something particularly unpopular, no one comes. Okay. And we're open. There's public notice to everyone. And if we do something unpopular, we hear about it after the fact. People can vote by coming to the meetings, telling us what they think. Okay, all those kinds of major expenditures are on the agenda. Okay, I don't think that we need to get into voting on everything over $500,000 or $1 million or anything like that.
So it's working in your
So I think it's working. Yeah, if it isn't working, I probably won't get reelected for saying this, but if it isn't working, it's because the public, the townspeople, aren't expressing their voice. Okay, they aren't coming here and telling us, we don't want you to spend that money.
We had a quorum when we
Well,
discussed.
wait a minute, I have a comment as well. I think that, in a way, I agree with Mr. Garrett. I think that the way that I would like it presented as a taxpayer would be to show the total value. And we're talking about a time limit here of probably maybe 4 to 5 years, correct? Anthony, on the fire truck, 5 years from the time you place the order?
4 years.
4 years. So you get a deposit, you make the investment in the truck, which is probably, I don't know, if they're asking for $2 million, I'm sure we're applying for grants. And I think that I would like to see a referendum, a vote by the taxpayers to say that, we're getting $750,000 in a grant, and the taxpayer responsibility is $1 million. And do you approve this or do you not approve it? And it's not like you have a signed contract where you can't cancel it if it was voted down, but I think that everybody should know that and be aware that we're investing a lot of money into a piece of apparatus that depreciates over the course of 10 or 15 years. I don't know if that truck passes, it's got to pass the ladder test. But that's a pretty tough test, and that truck is kind of used for everything. But again, I'd like to see it presented with what the net cost to the taxpayers of Winthrop would be and allow them to express their voice on a ballot. And that can be done 2 years to give you plenty of time to put it together and apply for grants.
Thank you, Bruce.
So I was just going to say, in concept, I can see where it would be, preferred to push this always out to the voters. But my concern would be that having to wait for authorization to be able to secure these purchases would handicap the town into being able to negotiate better deals. With the ambulance, we were able to save a ton of money, but we had to act, and we had to act immediately. And now, granted, some of these, we're talking about capping it at a certain point. If we waited, suppose, the information that the council got was if we had waited on the fire truck, it would have gone up a significant amount having waited. So I would weigh, those concerns and whether or not that would be something that we would have to think about. I think that the forum exists for citizens to come and address the council and to share their concerns and advocate one way or another. I would also say that, the authority to the council exists for that reason, to be able to act appropriately and timely. I wouldn't be opposed to saying over a certain amount of money would require public hearings before, are secured, but it would have to be, I would want to see it to be a tight timeline, so that way there's specific notification for items that are $2 million or something like that to solicit feedback instead of it just being, put in a regular agenda. I could see something like that being more rational, opportunistic.
I can understand the urgency in the ambulance. Okay, it was $400,000. The money was there. We just moved it around. Okay, this is a $2 million fire truck. And by the time you get done, it's probably going to be $2.5 million because you want all new equipment on it. That's not loaded. That's how, you've been on plenty of truck committees. So the differentiation between the two is pretty profound. You know what I mean? And it sounds like we're on the same page. I don't think that takes anything away from town council.
Jude?
My family sold fire trucks, okay? I got a little knowledge on fire trucks.
There you go.
And there's a expense that I never heard about presented to the town council is equipment for that fire truck. There's all that equipment you have on that old ladder truck that has 4 more years, as far as I'm told, it has 4 more years of life. There's an expense that was never talked about. Now, they need a fire truck, hey, I was a fireman for 21 years. I'm not against the fire department. They do a hell of a job, and nights, weekends, and, cold, and those guys work their hearts out. But it's just the way that this is a community. And I just feel more comfortable. If I was on the board, I would have voted no, because I want the taxpayers to vote for it. And they probably will, probably hands down they will. But at least we put it out to the general public, not 5 people made the choice. And as far as this $2 million, I don't know, did the thing go out for bid? Did anybody bid it? Did they spec it? Who spec the truck?
The issue here is not the fire truck. The issue is the limit on spending.
Right.
Is that correct?
But
It
I
could
can,
apply to anything.
well, yeah, but I'll just address this because I think it does go to the bigger point is, yes, we were advised that it went out to bid to multiple vendors and only one returned even anything.
That's good.
Well, not really, because then there's no competition. So then they told us, well, if we wait a month,
January 1st.
January 1st, boom, price goes up, which to me should be illegal, but that's a whole nother situation. But then our hands are tied in that sense.
Reason why things go up is because aluminum and metals and things like that go up. It shouldn't be illegal. It's their cost of goods. So
True, but then to say, if you don't do it by this time, but yeah, that's the reason. There is a class action lawsuit for it, but we'll see. But I do understand the point. It was difficult for me to say yes to that.
When a piece of equipment is needed for the fire department, doesn't the fire chief come to the town council and talk about it?
Yes,
Okay, so that's open to the public. Okay,
Yeah.
so
I mean, I get it, but
when they're purchasing a fire truck, the fire chief comes and presents it to the town council, it's talked about, and that is open to the public, so the public can weigh in on it.
Wait a minute. So what did we,
I think that we kind of got down in the weeds a little bit, way out of our authority
Yeah,
to be able to do anything.
Yeah.
I think the question on the table
505.
was, you know, we can understand the purchasing process, but on a major purchase that's over an extended period of time, after the grants are discounted out of it, I'd like to see it put on a referendum. And that's what I'm proposing.
over a certain amount?
We can set a dollar limit over $1 million. You know what I mean?
So just the point of order, so that we were discussing section 505, and this would be section 509 506 borrowing. So just if you.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I didn't want to get down in the weeds, but answering that specific question and enjoying your reading, you know, if you could continue, I don't know. It's not something we should vote on?
We already did vote on it.
I'm sorry?
We had already discussed this. We already voted on this.
Oh, to put a cap on it for a referendum?
No, as it is, we already voted on it. There was
Is
a
it something
quorum.
that we
and
should revisit then?
Maybe we should vote, should we revisit it or not revisit it?
And Andy had a comment here. Andy, your microphone, please.
Yeah, my prior comments were in a firm position. They were just kind of a little edge to the public to get here and talk to us. It's been a persistent problem for a long, long time. The thing is, if we do this and we put a cap on spending without a public vote, then we need to include bonding. Okay, because we can decide to, you know, at one point, we were pretty close to going ahead with the Windsor Beach project, $2 million. Okay, and we could do that, council's authority. So if we can't spend $1 million on a fire engine or $750,000 on an ambulance, why should we be allowed to bond $2 million without a public referendum?
Well, that's a very good point. I mean,
Yeah.
how much of a trouble is it to put a referendum for approval of a bond?
Not much. Like I said, I was just tweaking the public a little to get here and talk to us.
And I was just going
You know.
to say, well, could you imagine having to bond out paving the roads and then have to wait for that to get approved, process the purchasing? But
Because
that's,
it's a budgeted item.
it is, but it's over a certain amount and it's a very heavy amount.
But regardless, it's in the town budget. It's a public piece of information.
So isn't a fire truck.
The fire truck is a one-time, every 10-year purchase or however old it is.
25 years old.
25 years old.
Is it that old? Holy mackerel.
But you'd have to make the distinction is all I'm getting at
Yeah, I just think that we should revisit it and revise the wordage.
My question is for the town manager. Do any of these purchases, projects, do they all come in at the same type of level of processes? In other words, is the process as far as funding and budgeting the same for like the beach project as it would be for the fire truck?
It would. So those projects would both be part of our capital improvement plan. That's considered as part of the annual budget every year. And so, you know, the fire truck has been talked about, I think, for the last 3 or 4 years. And it was always part of the plan. And so, you know, finally, I think the chief just made an argument that, hey, as Aaron said earlier, if we don't do this now, we're eventually going to have to do it, and the price is going to continue to rise. So what we try to do, Mike, with all of those capital projects is we lay them all out for the council so that they at least know what the needs are, and then they determine the level of funding that they're comfortable with. They determine what the priorities are. Now, staff may recommend, we think these are the priorities, but obviously, ultimately, the council has the final say.
Then that would go to citizens as far as the vote for the budget to approve or disapprove?
No, so the voters do not approve the municipal budget. They do approve the school budget, but it's the council that approves the
Council
municipal
approves the
budget.
budget. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for the.
So just to kind of facilitate an answer, how are we going to pay for that fire truck?
So right now in the capital improvement plan, we are proposing setting aside $250,000 a year for each of the next 4 years. And whatever we might need to finance after that would be financed. So what we try to, as much as we can, we like to cash fund capital items. If you can't cash fund them, then you have to finance them. And even then, we try to save up as much as we can so we make a healthy down payment and then finance a much smaller amount.
I can agree with that. My question just was, wouldn't the whole amount be bondable? I mean, and proposed in a referendum to the taxpayers? With, hey, we need a new fire truck. I mean, this one's 25 years old. I can't believe that.
Yes, that could be done.
20 years in the fire department myself, but we were an engine company.
Yeah.
But, it's unbelievable, and they definitely need it. It's just the way that it was presented. I don't know. I just was curious as to how it was going to be paid. Thank you for that.
Sure.
The thing that gets me, I know of a fire department that bought a $3 million ladder truck. And they went after grants. The city paid 1.5 million because they've gone after grants. Where's our business guy? Where's this town manager? Is he going after any grants? These other towns and cities are getting these grants for rural communities, and they just want the taxpayer to pay $2 million? What's going on?
The town has secured a $1.1 million grant to upgrade all of our radio communications. That was done through a congressionally directed spending grant application that I worked on with our police chief and dispatch supervisor. And we've been looking into the fire department grants, but I don't want to get anyone's hope up. We've been told that that is an incredibly competitive process. And so it's one thing to apply for a grant. It's a whole other can of worms to actually get the grant.
And I can guarantee you the council hounds him on getting grants for every large purchase, every large purchase.
I can tell you
They
one
are.
thing. If you got a grant writer to know what the hell they were doing, they could probably get some grants to help out.
Well, I mean, you have to,
The grant
that-
marketing course?
Pardon me?
Have you ever filled out a 501c3?
No, but
No,
I know
exactly.
somebody who has. I know somebody got
I
Good for
have.
you.
but it's, again, that's a cost, right? If you wanted to hire someone specifically for that, then, but we
Well,
do
don't we-
have
don't
cost.
we have a financial man that we hired for $80,000 a year or something? Can he get those grants?
I think we're on, yeah.
We're way off track
Planner
here.
We do
Or
get
So-
grants.
somebody that does that. I know.
So to everyone's point, everybody on the staff contributes to the grant writing process. And in addition to the 1.1 million that I just mentioned, I mean, we've gotten $75,000 to date for community action grants
Any grants.
for different things. We've gotten $25,000 in grants from the state in order to update our land use ordinances. So we're constantly working on grants. And I think the staff, I mean, the people who've worked on that have more than paid for themselves many times over through the grants that have been, that we've been awarded in the last 2.5 years.
So at this point, I'll entertain a motion, I guess, if the members are so inclined.
I'll make a motion to rewrite or relook at those sections.
Section 506 under borrowing.
Yes, and only with regards to purchases over $1 million.
I'll second the motion.
All right, Richard seconds the motion. All those in favor? All those opposed? And it's a tie. Motion fails.
Can you clarify what you just said? That over $1 million, it's going to go to what? A
Referendum.
referendum?
Yes.
How long does a referendum take
The actual referendum or
to
you'll
get
have,
it organized, to put it in place? How long does that take?
I don't think it takes any amount of time. Deb, how long does it take to insert a referendum into the ballot? Yeah, question. This is the lady that does it, so.
So to create a new referendum question into an existing ballot would take the same length of time as to call an election and prepare that. It would be 60 days.
Okay,
We have to issue absentee ballots 30 days ahead of time. We have to code the ballots through our coding system, and that takes, it's a process. So 60 days turnaround time.
yeah, and I wouldn't want to call a special election for that.
And that's an additional expense, correct?
Oh, yeah, they're expensive.
Every ballot question we have coded is an additional expense, yes.
All right, so I just made a mistake and I'd like to correct it. After Richard's second, there should have been a time for discussion before we took a vote. Kind of did it backwards. We voted, then we had discussion. So I'd like to call for a revote on that, if the
I
discussion
mean,
is.
was your question answered adequately? Okay.
Anybody else have any other discussion on this item? And the motion is to put, items over $1 million that are not capitalized
Right,
to a public vote,
to a referendum.
to a referendum. Did I state that, they capture that correctly?
So we can.
All right.
What the verbiage is when it sorts out.
Anybody else have any discussion? All right, all those in favor? 3. All those against? 5. Motion fails.
So as is.
As is, sorry. Thank you, Bruce. Section 601, it's my opinion that the tax assessor is a full-time job, and currently it is not. This does not need to be addressed. It's just an observation. Now, number 7, section 602, I do not believe that the Board of Assessment is in place currently. This should be moved to the town council to address. Again, nothing that the Charter Commission needs to address here. Number 8, excuse me, could you, Andy? Andy has a comment?
I'm sorry, I'm coughing a lot tonight, so I pushed the microphone away.
No, that's.
I'm pretty sure we got all 3 now, don't we, Deb? On the Board of Assessment Review?
I think this is just, she just put this in the email to be.
So a Board of Assessment review for municipalities over 5,000 population is required by law. I'm not sure if we can rewrite that. We'd have to make it more strict and not less strict by state law if we put that in the charter. I have 2 solid seats right now.
Right, okay.
I have 1 additional open seats and 2 additional open alternate seats. We are trying to populate that committee pending the reval, which we expect we will have some business with them. So we are on the we're working hard to recruit people for that. 1 full-time and 2 alternates.
The only thought that I would have in this, and I know because it was addressed at the council meeting, is there had been an concern expressed about individuals and their occupations that were on the Board of Assessment. So if there were to be any changes adapted into the section, the only thing I would recommend or consider would be, either one attorney or one, try to do something like that. But I think ultimately it's something that's going to get brought up and the council is pretty stickler about it anyways. But whether that would need to be in the charter, it would be up to you guys.
I don't think it needs
I don't think that needs to be in the charter.
Okay,
That has anything to do with the charter?
good deal.
Right. Moving on, number 8. Maine Municipal Association has the means to review this for free, this meaning the charter, and to make sure it's in compliance with their guidelines. Should they put eyes on it? Just a thought.
My thought, I participated in that 2010 comprehensive plan, and TV cog was always telling us what they thought we ought to do, and we were always telling them that we were Winthrop, and that's what we ought to do. So my opinion on that is we should do what we think is best for Winthrop, not what the Maine Municipal Association thinks is best for Winthrop. Nothing personal with the Maine Municipal Association. They've been a big help there when we called on them. But this is about Winthrop.
And
I
we do
concur.
have our attorney that reviews everything, every step of the way. Is that correct? I mean, he has been,
If necessary to.
So one thing about the Maine Municipal Association's legal division is that they deal in broad topics, typically that deal with municipal state law. And so it is not unusual to take something that is very specific to your community to them. And their advice is always you need to consult with the town attorney.
I don't think it would be appropriate to.
And so I can 98% guarantee that if we were to submit this to the MMA, they would say, this is a job for the town attorney. They would not review it.
any further comments on that one? All right. Moving on to item 040. Discussion and consideration of the Charter Commission's preliminary report, including 3 changes recommended by the town attorney. And I'll read them. Section 504 is regarding expenditures and departmental revenue. The budget for all departments, including the school department, shall include all proposed expenditures. The town council shall make a gross appropriation for each department, including the school department, for the ensuing fiscal year. The gross appropriation for each department shall not be exceeded except by the consent of the council, but the school budget shall be expended under the direction and control of the Board of Education. Any discussion on that bullet point? All right, next section, oh, sorry, Anthony.
Gil, you read that as it currently stands in the memo that I provided. There's some highlighted language in section 504 to include the library as well. So it says, where it says the budget for all departments, including the school department, shall include all proposed expenditures. The added language is the budget for all departments, including the school department and the C.M. Bailey Public Library shall include proposed expenses. So anytime it mentions the school department, the library has been inserted in there as well. And the final clause of the last sentence says, and the library budget shall be expended under the direction and control of the Library Board of Trustees.
All right, sorry, I guess I must have printed the wrong copy. All right, section 509 regarding borrowing. I think it's just the notwithstanding the above council authority to issue bonds and notes, the council has the authority to determine by order to place a question of whether to issue a bond or a note on a ballot at the next regular or special election for the purpose of voter approval. That was the section that was added. Is that correct?
That's correct. And so as Mr. Socher read through this again, he noted that the charter did not expressly authorize the council to call bond elections. And so that's what that sentence does. It's just an addition to the borrowing section that you just discussed.
Solve the problem.
And section 8075 regarding the recall elections. Could you highlight for us, Anthony, the section that was changed on that one?
Yeah, certainly. So Mr. Socher recommends deleting the final sentence, which reads, the recall referendum shall be voted if the elected official resigns at least 7 days prior to the date of the referendum. And the reason that he recommends that is that once an election is underway, it can't be canceled or voided. And additionally, the elected official still may resign within 10 days of receiving the recall petition, in which case the election would not be called. So those are the two avenues that he was concerned about.
Right. And then, thank you. And then Deb picked up on section 203.2, the town council powers and duties. And it says by ordinance, the council can create, change, and abolish offices, departments, or agencies other than the school board. And what was added was, and the library board of trustees. All right. And section on 210, there was another correction, vacancies in council and other elected seats was added. And right at the bottom, vacancies, the school board may fill vacancies by appointment within the same time frame. What was added was vacancies in the library board of trustees shall be filled by the town council based on nominations by the remaining trustees. Everybody okay with those corrections and additions? Deb, did you have anything?
I have a question about,
Richard?
I have a question about the Charles M. Bailey Library, because I knew the Baileys. That's how old I am. That doesn't stand on its own, correct? The town pays for the expenses of the library. Is that right?
So the town owns the facility. And it does provide for the budget, but it is, but the council approves the budget. And then once the budget is approved, then the library board of trustees administers that budget.
So there's no trust fund or anything that was handed down over the years or?
There is a trust fund, and there's a board that oversees the trust fund as well. And so those finances help to support the operation and maintenance of the library.
So it's town funded and trust fund funded.
And there's a lot of private fundraising that occurs as well.
Gotcha.
I do not. I do not.
Who would know, Anthony? Is there, sorry to put you on the spot, but
Library director.
Richard Fortin?
Yeah.
All right.
Who is not an employee of the town manager. He is an employee of the library board of trustees.
Probably the Board of Trustees, I would imagine.
Liz Cianco would know.
All right. So we got a few changes to make. Can we pull that off rather quickly? Okay, I get the thumbs up, the his or her, what's that?
I was just
It
gonna,
drops at 7 o'clock.
I was gonna make a motion.
I got 2 pieces of pizza pie home
Make
waiting
a
on me.
motion, move to approve the preliminary report with the recommended changes to sections 504, 509, and 807.5.
I second that.
Oh, sorry.
As well as.
And 203.2 in section 210.
Second,
Second that.
Gary, second. All those in favor? Unanimous? All right. Next steps. It was mentioned that instead of waiting a month for the next meeting, we could probably pull off another meeting in March. The last week in March after we get the changes back from the attorney and everybody's in agreement with that. Could you bring the mic down, please?
I didn't look. I know I'm available for the next regularly scheduled meeting. I can't make any promises for the rest of the month.
On another day of the week, right?
Other than,
I'm not in favor of that kind of juggling. My schedule's fairly busy and I'm not complaining about that. But I put things in my schedule according to the set schedules, okay? And this meeting is set next month. What is it, the 14th or something like that? So I'm not really prepared to promise to be anywhere for this meeting other than that date.
Richard?
What are you picking for a date?
Last
Have you
week
seen
in
the calendar?
March, the last week in March, I guess, right?
That's Tuesday's March 31st. I won't be here, but probably there's some people in the room that probably be happy about that.
Would the April meeting be?
April, Anthony, April 10th is our next scheduled meeting, or is it the 14th?
So the reason that we were considering the last week in April is because
March.
that's sort of March, thank you. That's sort of the last opportunity to get the final report done in order to get it on the June ballot. It's not critical. I mean, if that doesn't happen, then we just put it on the November ballot instead. So, but if, if there's an appetite to see that as part of the June election, then we would need to present the final report to the council at its meeting on April the 6th.
What about the 24th of March?
24th of March?
Is that too short a time? Deb?
2 weeks.
You need a certain amount of time, is that correct?
If
How
we
about
were,
tomorrow night?
Well, the wording is a reasonable amount of time to circulate within the community. So it would be best to do it the third week of March, but it is in your discrimination to go ahead and do it a little bit earlier. So
would you be okay with the 24th of March?
I would be okay if there was a vote to that effect. I would prefer it a little bit later, but if we can't make that work and you wanted it to be on the June ballot, we could make that happen.
Deb, would March 24th work for you?
What day is it, Dick?
Tuesday.
Tuesday, March 24th? Yeah, we'll make that work. Yeah.
Make a motion, we meet March 24th.
March what, Richard?
24th.
I'll second it.
It's in 2 weeks.
And
I'm not.
any further discussions? You're not?
Yeah.
Unlikely I'll be here.
Unfortunately,
Might not have a.
we might not have a quorum, number one. I think it's important from my standpoint that I attend these meetings. And I think we should just go with our regularly scheduled meeting in April and shoot for the November ballot, which is what we were originally charged with.
Voters.
Are we scheduled for April 7th?
It's the second Tuesday in April, if that's the 7th, that's what it is.
It's actually the
The
so it'd
14th.
be the 14th. For some reason, we had it down as the 7th. I will not be here
So
on the
you're saying-
14th.
Are you saying that the next meeting would be April 14th?
Decided yet, but that would be the next scheduled meeting if we were to take a month in
Won't be.
between.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I'm sorry to object, but I object to the idea that we haven't decided yet. We have decided and scheduled that meeting, and tonight we're talking about changing the meeting date
we're
and
charged,
moving it ahead.
exactly,
Okay, so we.
to expedite a
have
June
decided-
vote, to expedite a June
Right,
vote.
But we have decided what the meeting date would be, and now
Yeah.
that I, for one, have scheduled that timeout, you want to change it. And I can't promise to be available during that time. I
Well,
am gonna come, but not likely.
I'm not doing this to punish anybody or to exclude
Chair.
anybody, We're just trying to get this on the June ballot if it's at all possible. And if it's not possible, we'll put it on the November ballot. And again, there's no,
There's too many
Well, then
conflicts.
most of our work is, most of our work is done here, so.
I make a motion that our next meeting be held on April 14th,
I
Tuesday.
wanted to just ask how many people I can't be there. I have to be in Boston.
On the 14th?
Water. So
Who
I
can be
would
here
like
on
to
the
know who
14th?
could be there on the 14th.
Now, hang on.
We're doing a raise of hands.
We're
Who's
trying
going
to
to
figure
actually
out
be
who can
here
be here,
on
right?
the 14th?
We need a quorum is what we need.
Here.
They're not a quorum. You're one guy.
Jay, you're gonna be here?
Yes.
Bree, you're not gonna be here? All right.
I can't.
So we got one,
I can't be here. So my daughter
So
got
it's the following
accepted in
Tuesday.
this.
and I
program
can't
in
be here
Boston.
either,
It
so.
was-
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Now
I had an
Matthew
unexpected
becomes
change in my
a
schedule.
wild card here.
Well,
What's the following Tuesday?
I can be on Zoom. Again, that's not,
that works.
I can't.
How about the 21st? Anybody have any conflicts?
It's
I
like I
can do the
said,
21st.
I can.
And Andy, you got any conflicts with the
21st?
21st?
I can't make any promises outside the 14th, okay?
Okay, Richard?
It was busy,
Be here.
and that's that.
April, I'm going.
Oh, you're
Full
going.
Full month, okay.
Yeah, same here.
Aaron, did you say yes
No, no.
to the 21st? Okay.
Mhm.
How many can be here for the 21st? Raise of hands. How many can be here for the 21st of April?
April.
I'll give it a maybe.
How long is this meeting going to be, right?
He's not going to be there.
20.
We don't know about Matthew.
So the only item of business at the next meeting will be approval of the final report. So to your point earlier, to Aaron's motion, tomorrow, we're going to incorporate these changes into the report. We're going to publish it and promote it. And unless you have some members of the public who come forward and say, we really think that you ought to consider that, then the only item of business is just to consider the final report, which is something that you must do because then that report gets delivered to the council and that's the vehicle for calling the election.
The only way we can pull off the next council meeting would be by holding this meeting in March. Is that correct?
The only way, sometime before April the 5th, or excuse me, April the 6th.
Okay,
So, and if we're going to go to November, then April's not, we don't have to like force ourselves to do this without
that's why
everybody.
we ought to just postpone the April meeting.
I think so.
Deb, there's no change in as far as costs or anything into terms between June and November having it on the ballot.
No, and we expect that the November ballot, the November election will be a very heavy turnout, as will the gubernatorials. So either way, we're going to get a good representation of our community. I don't want to belabor the issue and I don't want to slow things down. And no one more than me wants this to be expedient, but it does give more opportunity for community feedback.
Yeah.
So those are my thoughts.
Okay, thank you.
So right now, we're throwing a date of May.
Right, I make a motion that we postpone our April meeting and set a tentative meeting for May 12th, 2026.
You can make it the 5th. It's Cinco de Mayo.
That's fine with me.
So the Tuesday, the 12th.
Tuesday, second Tuesday.
Can you make that, Kelly? Okay,
I already have it on my calendar.
everybody's back in the country.
Second.
No, not yet, but we do now. All those in favor? It's unanimous. All right.
Get a month off.
Item number 042, consideration of approval of the minutes for the February 10, 2026 commission meeting.
I'll make a motion on item number 42 to approve the minutes of the February 10th, 2026 commission meeting.
Second.
Been seconded. All those in favor? Again, unanimous. Do have some folks in the audience. Any other additional public comments you would like to add? All right, Richard?
I would like to say that the work we did tonight, I think, was great. I felt that we were not influenced by the town council or the town manager. And I think it was very nice, this meeting tonight. I think everybody here did a great job. Thank you.
Everybody here's done a great job since last August, so very, very commendable. Everybody has voiced their opinion. We haven't been shy and we haven't taken it personally. So it's a sign of a good team. So I thank you all very much. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Seconds.
All those in favor? Meeting adjourned. Oh, dude. So Anthony and I have got this thing, these are Bruins.